Hi, my name is Teresa Micheletti, and this site is called Take What Rings True. So, this is a spiritual thought site, and take what rings true to you and let the rest go. You don't have to believe anything I say. So, today I want to talk about expectations and how it changes our life. Y- You probably have heard thoughts are things. Well, we are powerful creators and we can create things in our lives without intending to. So, what happens is you have an expectation and then it comes true. So, you expect people not to support you. I expected people not to support me because it's happened so many times in my life. Therefore, you expect that shoe to drop. Okay, this person may not support me. Well, then they don't support you. On the other hand, the positive is you can expect kindness and then you get that coming. Kindness is kind of good. So keep up the expectations of what you really want and let go of the things you don't want. Even manifesting, let go of the need and the want for something. So put it out there. What is it you want? What is it you want to change in your life? And then mail the letter and stop thinking about it. We can't live in the past, or we shouldn't live in the past, because if you just keep spinning those thoughts around, even if it's something that happened yesterday or last week, it doesn't have to be something that happened when you were 5 years old. What happens is you keep playing that loop in your mind, and that draws that same thing back to you. So, um, you have someone who is treating your relative inappropriately, meanly, whatever, then whenever you put that out there, that can draw that experience back. So you get to that relative, and that person is responding the way you expected them to respond. The good thing is you expect people to treat you nicely, you expect people to value you, you expect people to feel that you are worthy, then that's what comes back to you. Now, I know from my lifetime that I've done many worthy things. I'm a worthy person. On the other hand, I always had this feeling that people just were not feeling that I was of worth, and that would get reflected back to me. So I've had many bosses who give me wonderful reviews on my job reviews. On the other hand, they don't support me. On the other hand, they ignore me or seem to not value my worth or my opinion. So I could win national award and then I'm ignored. I could bring in a wonderful new program and it's like I didn't have anything to do with it. So often I got the feeling that, like, am I not noticed? Am I not there? But that's the feeling, the expectation I was putting out. It wasn't consciously I was putting out that, but it's like the shoe's going to drop. You have this feeling, okay, that might happen again. That might happen again. That might happen again. And it does. So instead, today, I'd like you to think about your life and what keeps reappearing. What actions do people take towards you that you don't want? What actions do people take towards you that you do want? And then allow that to precipitate, allow that to percolate in your head, and then think about, okay, how do I want to be treated? That's what I need to be thinking about. I expect people to treat me as if I'm a worthy person. I expect people to treat me as if I am truly valued. I expect people to treat me with kindness. Now, when you give out kindness, you do get it back. But if you're expecting people not to treat you kindly, then you also get that back. So it's a double edged sword. Think about what you want in the future, but then stop playing it over and over again. Don't loop that either. Okay, I want to be treated with kindness. Put that out there. I expect to be treated with kindness. And then let it go. Let it go to the universe. If you just keep thinking, okay, people are going to treat me with kindness, people are going to treat me with kindness, then you're not noticing the present and what's happening. There could be a puppy coming up to you trying to love you. There could be a toddler coming up to you trying to love you, and you're ignoring it because you're programming for the future. Don't do that. Not to say that you can't plan for your vacation or put out there what you want, but then let it go to the universe and let the universe bring it back to you, the positive. And sometimes the negative things, the expectations come from a past life. I know not everyone believes in past lives, but I do. So my former fiance was from a past life, many, many past lives. And he was very controlling. And I began to expect that something would go wrong when we would go places, or there would be interference because he was trying to manipulate me and keep my friends away from me. He'd answer my phone and say, no, I couldn't help him, or I couldn't be with them. I was busy. I was whatever. And he would manipulate and try to keep me from being with my friends, which is kind of hard because I was living in a dormitory. I was a resident assistant, and so I saw them anyway. However, I broke the chain of him controlling me and said, no, this is not going to happen anymore. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to play that game. So I broke that chain, and then that stopped. And he went to Alaska, which is fine. So you can break a chain that's gone over and over and over again. You keep looping. I know I was reading something on Facebook the other day, and somebody was complaining about their family treats them horribly. Their family treats them horribly. Their family treats them horribly. They said that in many different ways. It's like, okay, then you're expecting your family to treat you horribly. So it's not written anywhere that says you have to be with your family 24/7. If there's someone you don't want to be with, then be somewhere else. Of course, if you have a mom who's sick and you need to take care of her, you're the caretaker, then of course you need to do that. But that doesn't mean that you have to put up with people being mean and rude to you all the time. Go in the other room and watch a movie. Do something else. Put out love. Send them love. My mentor, Francine, would say, you get more with honey than you do putting out negativity. So send love to them. And don't react to their negativity. And don't spin it in your mind. Please stop playing the loops of this person was horrible to me. This person was horrible to me. This person was horrible to me. Stop playing that loop, because then you keep getting more of it. Maybe not necessarily from that person, but somebody else will treat you horribly because that's what you're putting out. You don't want that coming back. So instead, okay, what can you do? Okay, that person's treating you horribly. Do they have to stay in your life, or can you walk away? Is it a boss? Is it an adult child? You don't have to be a doormat. Some things you need to stay if you're a caretaker for somebody, then you can't afford to get a different caretaker. Then, do what you need to do. However, you need to live in the present too. When we are always thinking about, oh, horrible person, treated awful, then we aren't stopping to smell the roses. Be in the present. Instead of bypassing the present with thinking about the future or thinking about the past, we need to take a walk. Go take a nice bath. Go put on some perfume and smell the wonderful scent. Call your best friend. Be in the moment. Spend more time in the present. Spend more time in the moment. And let go of the stuff that's negative. And any positive, put it out there. If you want something to be positive, you want to be treated with kindness, put that out there. I want to be treated with kindness. But then don't hold on to it. Let it go. Mail the letter. Whatever it is. You have a need, you have a want. Okay, that's what it is. Put it out there and let it go. Don't keep it with you. You need to be in the present. You'll feel much better. The classics. If I'm in a relationship, then I'll be happy. If I get married, then I'll be happy. If I get rich, then I'll be really happy. Well, that is not always the case. I knew a multimillionaire. My college roommate was very, very wealthy. And her father, they owned like almost the whole street. There were 4 houses on the street. They owned 3 of them, and Madame Chiang Kai-shek's sister owned the other one. Anyway, he was staying in one of the mansions. We were staying, college kids were staying in the other mansion. And we were getting ready to go. I probably told this story before. We were getting ready to go back to school, to college. And her father said, I have all this money and I'm not happy. Why am I not happy? Well, money did not make him happy. He had tons of money, but he was not happy. So stop trying to make the outside stuff be what makes you happy. It's not going to. A new house may be nice, may be wonderful, may make you feel good, but that's not what makes you happy. A new relationship, maybe you're getting out of a bad one. That's good, but it isn't the relationship that makes you happy. Put out that you want to be treated with kindness, you want to feel wonderful, whatever it is, and let that come back to you. You can live in a shack on the edge of town, and you could be more happy than anyone else in town. It's not the material things, it's not the relationships, it's how do you feel about yourself. I think the worst is just the feeling of waiting for the shoe to drop, of this is going to happen to me again. This is going to happen to me again. I think I've told the story. I was teaching school and I had a child in my class. And before school started, I met with 8 people about this child, a personal one-to-one aide, the sheriff's department, social services, the school counselor, the principal. I don't remember who else, but anyway, because this child was just not well behaved and was hurting people. Well, he was hurting people in my classroom. So I referred him to the psychologist. And he kicked the psychologist in an inappropriate place. And then the next day, we had a big district meeting, all these psychologists and me, about this child. Well, they were explaining that no, the child could not be taken out of my class because we needed to keep his rights. I'm thinking, okay, I just told you that he's been slamming kids' heads on the desk, that he threw a chair at his aide and his aide quit. And then the psychologist did not back me up, threw me under the bus and said, uh, when I go into the classroom, she has him under control, meaning me, I have him under control. Well, it's like I have a space around him and I'm trying in all possible ways to keep that child from hurting anybody else. Well, I was expecting people not to support me. So they big time did not support me. They big time did not value the kids in the classroom as much as they did this one child. So I wrote a letter to the district and said, if the child harms me or draws blood, I will be a party to the court case. Well, he did draw blood for me, and all of a sudden he was taken out of my room. What a shock. But I didn't want to be a doormat, and I certainly didn't want kids harmed, which was really odd because I would write letters to the parents and say, your child was, check their head because the child was slammed. Your child's head was slammed against a desk. I'd sent them to the nurse, but no response from parents. I'm going, why are none of these parents responding? Because of my expectation. So, not a good thing. Really not a good thing. But You do the best you can. And maybe if I change my expectation to things are going to get better, things are going to be more positive, this child is going to get the help they need. The backstory is the mom had tried to smother the child before. The children had called the sheriff and they'd said, stop playing on the phone. It's like, but eventually that child was taken to a different facility, taken out of the mom's care. But you feel like, oh no, oh no, oh no, nobody's listening to me, nobody's supporting me. And the child did not get hurt, but he was minimally harming everybody else. Not a good thing. So if I had known, I could have stopped and thought about, okay, what can I send out? What I could have sent love out to him. I could have sent love out to his mom. I could have sent out more positive feelings and try to get those back. So that was not the most positive story. Anyway, expectations. I want you to think today about what are your expectations, especially what is the loop that keeps playing? What keeps coming back, coming back, coming back? The way people treat you, or the things they say to you, or the occurrences that happen, like your car always has a problem. It has flat tires, somebody runs into the fender. Are you expecting that to happen? So it does. It doesn't have to be people to people. It can be things. Like you don't expect your lights to work. You expect electricity not to work. You expect the water bill to go up. I don't know if we can control that, but we could try. Thoughts are things, and we are very, very powerful in creating what happens to us, what happens around us. So take a breath today. Take some time to think about what is looping in your life. What keeps coming back to you? What kind of expectations are you putting out there? And you probably don't even know you're putting them out. Especially, what do you complain about to your friends? What are the things that you're complaining about? Is that something that keeps coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back? If so, then make it the opposite. What could you put out there that you want to come back to you? You don't want your best friend to steal all your thoughts. Okay? Then have your friend be treating you politely. Maybe they'll come back and apologize for what they did. You can go to the Hall of Reconciliation on the other side. Ask to go when you go to sleep and speak to them soul to soul. Tell them how you feel. You don't have to remember it. You can say, okay, 3:00 in the morning on Saturday, I want to meet soul to soul in the Hall of Reconnection and talk to this person. You don't have to remember. If you want to do it more overtly, then talk to a hypnotist, talk to me. And I'd be glad to escort you, guide you to that hall. So you can tell them how you feel and tell them how you expect to be treated from now on. So think about the expectations you have overtly. What do you say all the time? He's a pain in the neck. He's always a pain in the neck. He drives me crazy. He's a pain in the neck. Well, then what do you get? A pain in the neck. I can't move forward. I just can't move forward. I just don't know what to do to move forward. Well, is that what's the problem with your knee? Because you're not trying to move forward, or you're programming not to move forward. So you have a knee problem, or you have a hip problem, which is keeping you from moving forward. What is it that keeps happening in your life? And our body reflects a lot of times our expectations or what we've been putting out there. And a lot of times it's trying to get you on the right path. Your mind and your body and your soul are trying to work together to try and get you on the right path. And sometimes we have physical ailments because we are not following the path that we're supposed to be following. Now, some of this is written in. You chart, especially if you're an advanced entity, you chart to have a problem. Maybe you chart to have a leg problem that's going to continue the rest of your life. Or maybe you chart to have MS, or you chart to have something else that you're going to overcome in this life, because that's what we do in this life. We come into life to overcome obstacles. Some of them are written in stone. This is not going to change. I'm going to have MS for the rest of my life. That does not mean that you cannot mitigate the symptoms, that you cannot soften the symptoms. Donna Eden is an energy healer. And the reason she became an energy healer is because she had MS. And she wanted to figure out what to do to not be in pain. So just because you have an illness or you have a malady doesn't mean you have to have the worst case scenario. What can you do for yourself that will make you feel better? I talked about my friend Kathy, who was terminally ill and in pain, and she just put herself beyond her body. So she was beyond the pain. Not that you should live beyond your body, that you came to Earth to experience Earth. However, it can be pleasant. Go smell the roses. You don't have to spend money to feel better or to experience the present. Go for a walk, call a friend, do art. What do you like to do that you haven't been doing? What have you put off because, oh, there's no time? Maybe you need to think about, what do you really like doing? What's a hobby? Or, maybe you like swimming and you haven't done it in a year. Maybe you like taking hikes and it's just you've been too busy, too busy, too busy. Put yourself on the calendar first. You are important. You need to take time to refresh, to renew, have some R&R. So put yourself on the calendar. And then take some time today to think about, what are the expectations? What are the loops that you have playing that keep coming back to you? The way people treat you, or the things that happen to you over and over and over again. What are those loops that keep coming back? So think about it. We will see if we can improve our lives by checking on the expectations that we have, whether they're expectations that we say out loud, he's a pain in the neck, or whether it's one that we haven't thought about. Like, why do I keep having people not support me? Well, because I keep thinking, not consciously, but I keep thinking that people are not going to support me. It's like you have this shoe that's just going to drop. You go, especially if you go someplace and you go to an event and it's like, okay, this is going to happen again. There's going to be a problem. It may not be consciously, but you have this thought, okay, there may be something that's going to happen. Okay, what is that loop of what do you think is going to happen? What's that loop that you have unconsciously in your mind that keeps replaying, replaying, replaying? Because it's causing the negative to come back to you. Make it the positive. I am so glad that I'm with my college roommates because they make me laugh. It's so fun. It's like we never were apart. We remember all the silly things that we did. Bring that back. Make that be the positive that you expect with all the people around you, not just your good friends from high school, your good friends from college, whatever it is. So think of a time when you're really happy with people, or you're really happy with your life, or you're really happy with the things that are going on around you. Okay, how can you get that to come back? So think about that and put that out to the universe, and then don't loop that. You need to live in the present. Okay, I expect to have more contact with my college roommates, with my high school buddies, and I expect to feel that love. So I'm going to send a bubble of love out to all of them today, all of them, and expect that to come back. Because what you put out comes back to you, which is why the good stuff, it's nice to come back. The yucky stuff, it's like, stop expecting the yucky stuff. Stop that chain. Stop that reaction. What do you want instead? So put out what you want instead. Even if you have to, the other day I was going somewhere and I was replaying the loop, replaying the loop, replaying the loop. And I said, sweep those thoughts away. Just sweep those thoughts away. I don't need to think those thoughts. I even asked the angels, help me sweep those thoughts away. Because I was playing it over and over and over again. So it's not always easy. Just work on it. Your expectations. Make your expectations all the ones that are wonderful. And let go of the ones that are yucky. Put it out to the universe and then let the universe deal with it. Live in the present. Think about, what is it you have been ignoring that you love to do? What do you want to be present with? It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you like carving wood, whittling. Maybe you like building things. Maybe you like making things with shells or rocks or whatever. Think about what you like to do and spend some time in the present doing some things you like to do. Maybe you just like to sit out in the yard on a chair. Maybe you like to read in the sunroom or whatever it is. Take some time to nurture yourself. Be good to yourself and let go of those stupid, yucky expectations. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining me. And I hope to see you next Wednesday. Okay, next Wednesday. That would be good. Bye.